Hey everyone, and welcome back to Master Sight. Today we have game two of Battles and Beers, and we have a matchup of my Elves versus Michael Kaup's Ogres. Michael and I are, I would say, really good friends. He's one of the Minnesota guys that I've known and hung out with for quite a while now. I think we might have first played a couple years ago, but I honestly don't remember the outcome of any of our previous engagements. But Michael is just an excellent guy to hang out with. Always have a lot of fun talking with him, just being around him. He is just a blast. Um, so let's go ahead and dive into his list and we'll get into the game here. So Michael is bringing his ogres, which I think he's been playing for almost a couple years now. So he's gotten quite a few reps in with them. He is playing with a regiment of warriors, three hordes of siege breakers naked, two troops of scouts, two regiments of chariots, one with staying stone, the other with J boots, a troop of boomer chariots with the sacred horn, sergeant mounted on a chariot, two warlocks, both with lightning bolt and drain life, an army standard bearer with the trickster's wand, and Namagrok. So he comes out to 14 drops, 23 unit strength. I really like his list. I don't see enough people take the chariot regiments. I think they are an excellent piece, an excellent tool, and really help with some of the Warriors' less desirable matchups as we might see in our game here. So let's go ahead and dive into the game. So that is Michael himself. Billy in the background over there. And then this is our deployment. So our scenario for this game is dominate, which is um, it's not bad for us, but dominate is definitely a bread and butter scenario for ogres, especially triple siege breaker ogres. So terrain wise over here, as you can see, deployment wise, we're going to be playing on the right half of the board, but there's some forests over on the left that won't matter. We have a hill, two hills across the middle. These large trees are impassable pieces that were directly across the center with obstacle jetting out of each one. And then these two little pieces are going to be difficult terrain. So pretty straightforward and easy. Deployment wise, I have my Troop of Silver Breeze on the far left, Brutal Dracons here, um, Battle Cats. I have the Alchemist Curse Mage in between these guys, the Horde of Seaguard, the uh, Lord on Drakon with Trickster's Wand, which is definitely going to be useful in this game. Then we got our Regiment of Seaguard behind, or yeah, behind which we have the Horde of Drakons. Uh, two regiments of Silver Breeze, Battle Cat, the Bolt Thrower, and then we have our last regiment of Drakons and Nimue on the far right. So with this one, in general, we definitely went in with a little bit more of a game plan. I feel like the first game, I was a little bit more just bloodlust of, well, we'll just kill them all and pick up the tokens. We'll play for all the tokens. So in this one, I think we were a little bit more realistic in having a better idea going in. But let's dive into his stuff. His stuff, he definitely layered up, which I think is absolutely the right thing to do. He has his chariots here. The J boot ones are right here. Behind this chariot is his chariot character. His Red Goblin scouts are in there as well. And I think he has an army standard bearer somewhere back here too. He has his regiment of warriors. Nam is the yellow one, and a regular warlock here with a siegebreaker behind, with the boomer chariots behind. He has siegebreaker horde here with his other warlock, his other cav, the scout unit, and the last horde of siegebreakers behind there. So Michael definitely knows what he's doing with this army, and he clearly has a plan for the first turn's worth of movement. Something that I don't see enough of, I feel like, is the deployment of chaff behind lines that then are in a position to move forward into a screening position. So you'll see it here with Michael's first movement, but this unit, movement wise, not going to hit terrain. It's going to end up way out here. This unit is a little bit easier to predict. It's just behind the unit that it's going to be screening, but it has the ability to run through it and get out in front. So, yeah, just very good movements by Michael in general. And we go for first turn, and he got it. So we're 0 for 2 on first turn with Elves. Not where we want to be. But I guess before we go into that, as I was saying, in general, have a better plan of. I see that he wants to control this side, play a denied flank, and then turn into the dominate circle this way. So something that I've noticed is that I don't think people fully understand how to play against a denied flank army or deployment like this. I see some people do their own denied flank and just stack up on the opposite side and then end up battle for the pass where you're just playing long ways in the middle. If you want to really stretch this out and force difficult decisions, you have to put things across from it, even if you're severely outnumbered, and then you have to push up in the center in this case, or the left flank, and turn to apply pressure to where if they go straight forward, they're going to get flanked. If they go to the left, they're going to get flanked by what you have over here. So you have to have threatening pieces on both sides, and some armies just aren't set up to be able to do this. But one of the worst things that I think it could be done in response to this setup is to either set up just directly across from it and say, let's smash phase, which the ogres would love because they have siege breakers, or to deploy completely opposite of it and say we're gonna buy our time and fight over the middle. Again, the ogres are gonna love that. So I have to deploy a little bit more spread out, understanding that my goal is to prevent his army from just creating that death ball that ogres really revolve around, and have to pick them off just piece by piece. So easier said than done, but deployment is where you actually get the ability to accomplish that goal. So pretty happy with the deployment. I want the best shooters I have facing him down like this. And if we got first turn, which we already know we didn't, we could take so much space away from him and then also threaten him so much by moving up into the center and turning to threaten the flanks, making it to where he has to delay his push forward. Anyway, enough said about that. We'll just go ahead and see how the game progresses. So, as we expected, exactly what Michael was showing us, he is going to push forward aggressively, and he does so quite effectively. So, using his siege breakers as a strong wall on that weak side, allowing his fast units to get into position, I think the best Michael did the best thing possible, which is moved his chariots up in this particular way, blocking off any charges into this chariot unit, and then this chariot unit is actually 11 inches away from my Drakons. So my Drakons can only back up 5 inches. I will still be in range to be charged by him. So that is definitely an excellent thing to keep in mind when you're going against an army that's faster than you and you want to force the issue. Is if you're putting yourself in charge range, you might as well make sure that they can't back out of that charge range for next turn. So he did that very well. He also maintained his distance, keeping the units in the back lines here to avoid what happened in the last game where I just fly over, turn, and now I'm behind him. I am out of 20 inches, so I can't charge those units either. So, again, very good movement by Michael here and kept everything very tightly packed. I need to be able to strip away these chaff pieces in order to really apply any pressure from his position he has here. So, yeah, he marched everything I believe this turn, so I didn't think he had any shooting at all. So my turn, I go ahead and start pushing forward, turning that center as we want, getting into position to shoot. So our goal is um, to shoot all three of the chaff units. The regiment of warriors is effectively chaff. We want to shoot all three of these units, and uh, we like killing them. We would actually much prefer to just waver them because wavering a unit like this one over here, where there's the chariots right behind, there's nothing it can do from behind. It can run through the unit without charging and pop out, and then allow me to get the charge or um, whatnot. But if we can waver one of these two units on the right, especially, that will slow up or even just dead stop his push with his fast units. So that's what we set up to do with our shooting. We try to shoot a couple of shots with the Alchemist Curse because we can. Um, yeah. And we're in position to at least threaten the flank of something, forcing him to respect it at the very least here. So, and then on the right here, my movement in anticipation that I either kill or don't kill this unit, I want to block the chariot charge. Or I should say, kill or don't waver this unit. I want to block the chariot's ability to charge. Like I said, I couldn't back up out of their range, so I have to use the battle cats like this. So basically, what this does is his pivot to get around the battle cats with the chariots takes his unit off the board before it connects with my unit. So I do successfully block them from getting charged by the chariots there. So shooting happens. I do kill the center unit. So what I did here was I did 6 wounds here. I did 5 wounds to the center unit. And I did 4 wounds, but with Nimwe's fireball, we also had shattering. So I needed a 5 or 6 to waver, and just a 7 one time on this unit would have killed them. We don't even get the waiver. We don't get the waiver, and we killed. So, like I said, the best outcome for any of those three was actually a waiver versus a kill or a steady, and we don't get a waiver for either three, which is unfortunate because again, I needed a 5 or 6 for this one, 5 or 6 for this middle one, and then I believe it was a 6 or 7 for the one on the left here for a waiver. So. Unlucky, but at least we killed one chaff unit. Oh, and I had forgotten. Or no, this is his turn now. I just haven't shown you his movement yet, but he shoots over here on his turn. So, yeah, I didn't take very good pictures on his turn. So before I moved all these guys, he had moved up. He killed the battle cats. He then just moved up, kept the warriors on line. He turned his shooters. I did Hex Nom successfully the first two turns, or the first turn of the game here. This is actually after I start moving. Sorry, guys. Skip some shot. Anyway, he turned his lightning bolt there. He has a lightning bolt here, and he shot at the individual. He got 3 wounds and a waiver. So, yep, kind of expected that. He definitely doesn't like my Alchemist Curse caster. I don't know why, but he did nothing. He actually shot. It was in the flank, so only defense 5, but it was cover shots, and I had 0 hits. It's like, yeah, all right, that works, I guess. So yeah, shooting's not terribly favorable for us at the start of this game. So in the position we are in, he killed the battle cats, reformed like that. He just decided to move forward with everything else. So one thing I discussed with Michael at the after the game was over, this unit wasn't killed. It was steady, and he could have charged the Dracons with the troop. I think that was definitely the play he should have done. But I didn't really get a good idea why he didn't do it, because he positioned them, as we will see here, as so, to block up, shot, to basically to just take shots from my stuff here. Anyway, I think I would have charged the Dracons just to sit them down, but he ran his chariot character up to block a flank charge against this chariot regiment. So the chariot character's taking the flank instead from the Dracons this turn. So, yeah, so my turn. This is actually my movement after the end of my turn. So I just shuffled my Silver Breeze over this direction. The idea of that being that they're going to get charged, so I'm moving as far away from the dominate circle as possible. That's really the only reason why I'm moving over here. So I am hoping and praying that these two shooting into this unit, I can get a lucky waiver. He's actually out of front arc of the bolt thrower, so I can't even support with that, and nothing else is in range to shoot. So, hoping for the lucky waiver I didn't get on the first turn to show up here. I flank charge with the Regiment of Sea Guard into the already injured scouts, mainly because I like the position they're going to be in after killing this unit. I do plan on trying to shoot this ogre unit right here. So if I just turn and face, I'm taking chariots to the front, and if he really wants to get everything out of the way, he could take the siege breakers into the front as well. But this is effectively a chaff unit, and if it's just one unit hitting it, I actually think I have a good chance of surviving. So I did pop the fly and jump over. So Nimue is out of front arc of both these things. I want to take out that stealthy aura. It definitely does help the army, but it's not completely detrimental to my shooting. I've been shooting stuff that's actually been out of the stealthy bubble for most part of it, but it's the easiest thing to kill, and that's Nimue has quite a few targets she could shoot at here, but nothing else is going to be supported by any of my other shooting this turn. So I'm going to focus on the stealthy bubble. That's also going to be the easiest thing to kill at this point. And then on the left hand side, I don't have to move the battle cats up to sacrifice them yet, but I decided I wanted to do it to protect this horde for an extra turn. I'm targeting his caster, his warlock here. I hex Nom again this turn. I'm going to shoot at the um, uh, this guy here just because I know the lightning bolts and its unit strength as well. Again, it's a defense 4 target. It's one of the easier things to pick up and kill. They turn into really good chaff later for his Siegebreaker. Also, his drain life is going to be really annoying if we get into a grind or a fight with the Siegebreakers. But and then the nimble character just backs up behind the impassable. And then one thing he did very well at defending the Drakons from the right flank, but turn 2 we're in the deployment zone with this the terrifying tent Drakon unit and looking at the rear of his army. So um, yeah, our shooting's not doing great, but our positioning with this unit in particular is going to be uh, quite devastating, I feel. So let's go ahead and see how we do with our shooting and our combats. Not great. So back it up here. I think we did 4 wounds to the chariots. Don't get a waiver. We do only like 5 wounds to these guys. That's fine. They're only a 10, 12. We snake eyes them. We do kill the chariot character, so that's nice. But our shooting, we don't do a single wound to the boomer chariots, and we did like 4 wounds to the caster, and didn't waver it or anything. We also did nothing to this warrior regiment. So yeah, we've had better days, is what I'll say. So this is what it looks like after Michael's turn. So let's jump in there. He double charges Battle Cats because 1 Siegebreaker Horde isn't enough. He needs 2 in there. Realistically, he just wants a better positioning, I guess. So and then he moves the other one up onto the hill. He is shooting on a hope and prayer that his 2 lightning bolt guys are going to waver this Drakon unit that has spell ward. And Nam got hex, so Nam just says, "I'm running behind the hill. I hate this." Yeah. He charges the flank, and he gets a rear of what I see as a dead Seaguard unit. He charges into the Silver Breeze here and here. Um, and then he takes a double charge with his Boomer Chariots and his Army Standard Bearer with the loot, which I feel like the loot that he has could have been put to a little bit better use. I know that, or not loot, the Trickster's Wand, sorry. So I know that I have a Trickster's Wand and potentially could break his Trickster's Wand with mine. And mine is on a guy with Spell Ward, but I feel like he didn't use it very well, and I think it could have been extremely powerful because the Trickster's Wand against the Alchemist Curse Mage is like her worst nightmare. So but nonetheless, he's getting some value out of it, charging the Drakons here. So, as we expect, he picks up the regiment over here. They're not inspired. We don't really, yeah, I mean, we care if they live or die, but I don't think inspiring was going to do it for us. So, and then, yeah, sorry guys, wish I had some better pictures, but so before I moved everything here, he did an interesting move, I thought. He decided to reform both the siege breakers after combat to be directly back to back. The big reason, let's go back a couple. Big reason was because this one's in the flank here, this one's in the flank or potentially even the rear of this one here. Um, so he was really worried about these Drakons. Um, yeah. So he did did this. Now I not a huge fan of it. So the main reason I'm not a big fan is because he has this Siegebreaker horde overlooking this one. Um, and that one's in the flank of the Dracons that were back here. I would have preferred him to just give a flank, and he could easily have made it a hindered flank at the very least with this unit. Um, but then to expose a double flank to the things that were right in front of you just seemed really odd to me. And again, I don't think this unit had good options, but I don't think this is the right option. Because again, anything that charges this, you're already in position to charge. Um, so if I take the flank with this horde of Dracons, you just say thank you. I can just sit them down now with this unit or this unit. Um, it just seemed like giving a free double flank with a horde and a Dracon character was not the best. You know, it's tough. It's tough when there's just so many options and stuff flying around you. But um, yeah, I don't know. I guess what exactly the right option was. I just feel like this. I was extremely surprised when he gave me essentially double flank with both hordes, not looking at anything that was behind that battle cat unit. The disrespect to Seaguard. They're gonna show him. But anyway, I position the individual in such a way that the siege breakers can't get a charge against me, and then I can get some alchemist curse going against his caster back here. Nimwe's somewhere over here, also in range to shoot at him, and then we have these guys that can shoot over the top as well. So we're trying to pick off these warlocks as much as we can. And then, yeah, we did take the horde of Dracons into the regiment here after Cloak of Deaths from Nimue. These are actually at 2 wounds already, so feel pretty comfortable with that. We popped the J boots. The idea being that fingers crossed, our shots kill or at least waver this unit. We're out of the front arc of this one. So then we can just turn and take a hinder charge from this chariot unit over here because this is the one with staying stone. But we'll see. And then I countercharged the ogre army standard bearer here because that actually just barely got me out of front arc of this unit here. And then I rear charge the boomer chariots over here because it just gets me out of counter charge from anything. Um, whereas if I hit the flank here, there was the chariots and stuff, and also hitting siege breakers in the flank isn't actually a guaranteed kill by any means. So I took the easier kill, and then I can turn and I'll have obviously these things facing this way, and then I'll be behind him facing the other way. So I just have the kill box set up with that charge. So yeah, so after combats, this is what it looks like. We waver the character, I believe it was. We killed the chariots. We did, in fact, kill the warrior regiment with the shooting. Awesome. We killed the siege breakers with the double flank charge and then overran the sea guard to this position, allowing for our character to be free. Both these warlocks live and are unwavered, unfortunately, but they're looking the wrong way right now. I mean, this warlock could charge my caster if he wanted, um, but that's the only thing that could complete a charge on it. So yeah, and we killed the scouts that should have been dead a long time ago. So in general, like our position, we're also blocking up the flank here, so only Namagra can charge this unit. Like our position, we are doing exactly what we want to do against siege breakers, which is making them spin in circles for the most part. So, and Michael goes into these guys, which I think they're just at 1 wound from the Goblin Scouts that came in before. Nam goes into this unit, the Horde goes into the Sea Guard, and then he just turns to face with this one, keeping a front charge and a front charge. So, yeah, he does Lightning Bolt off the caster, Alchemist Curse caster. Sad day. We had our chance to kill him. He kills us first, but they are wounded quite heavily. What's really sad for Michael is that he just rolled like complete dog shit with this round of combat. Um, he only did 4 wounds to me because I already had one, and we don't get wavered. So he's already sitting on 4 wounds, and that's a Drakon. Granted, it's hindered by a Drakon in the flank, so a Horde in the flank, I should say. He does 9 wounds, and the Horde holds here. And yeah, so my turn. I charge the army standard bearer, kill him. I charge these guys, kill them. I just countercharge there, and then my we'll see, my Lord on Drakon popped over, hit the Warlock that was behind here. That lightning bolted, hit him in the flank, and we're gonna position here, looking down the board here. I shot at this Warlock, and this is the most resilient motherfucker in the game, so he's of course still alive. But yeah, we're in cleanup mode at this point. He only has 2 hordes of siege breakers. We put a couple of plink wounds on him, whether it's from Cloak of Death or some other shooting when we didn't have any other really great targets. I think this was actually a bolt thrower shot that we got lucky with and did 3 wounds. But um, yeah, so we're now focusing on the fact that dominate is the name of the game. I don't expect our horde to be alive much longer, but we got 5 unit strength here, another 4 here. Once we clean up Nam, that'll be in time to get into the dominate circle by the end of the game. So even if we all we have to do is pretty much pick up one of these hordes of siege breakers, and we're gonna be in there for the win. So he does kill my horde and turns around to face everything that's going to come at him. And then this Siegebreaker unit again reforms. I think this is the 3rd turn in a row that it's been in this position, just turning to look north, south, west. No, this is east. Either way. So my turn. I believe this is top or bottom of 5 now. I double front charge with the Drakons here. The he got he got a little unfortunate with the fact that Nam didn't do a wound to the unit that was in front of him, so that unit jumped over, and the other unit hit him in the flank. So I don't think it would have mattered too much. It just kind of guarantees the kill against Nam when I can take the flank charge. I would have taken the double front charge here and the rear from the character, and then just kept the other one in the front of Nam. But either way. And then Nimwe's behind this wing, but Nimwe's going to be shooting his fireball at the 8 wounded warlock that refuses to be wavered. And then we shoot some more at these guys as well. So we're just moving into position. We got clear shots into the flank arc now of this unit. So we get them up to 8 wounds. Don't waver them. And we finally kill a warlock. Yay. We kill Nam. We kill the Siegebreaker Horde. So it is the last Siegebreakers on turn 6 charging my character. They waver him. We back up. We let everybody else come in and charge and kill off the already devastatedly damaged siege breakers. And look, we're in the dominate circle. So, um, yeah, it was definitely a rough start. An unfortunate snake guys not getting some waivers early on. Those things would have really helped us out early on to push an advantage, but um, we got the use out of the Drakon. The Drakons just won the game. Basically, the shooting shat the bed. So I think the biggest mistake for Michael was letting the Drakons get into his deployment zone and look at the rear of his army on turn two. If he would have played defensively like he did on the right flank and had a unit looking, protecting his back lines for that inevitable jump over from the Drakons, I think this game goes much differently, and his siege breakers can face one direction and take the charges and whatnot. I might have been able to kill one unit of siege breakers if I get double charges off with some of my big units, but he's going to be able to look right at those units and take them out the following turn. So kind of like how I described in the beginning, the real thing that you need to do against a denied flank like this is to be able to put up threats in multiple areas in order to make them uncomfortable. And granted, Michael played extremely well on those first two turns, especially with his chariot movements. He really put me in a bad position, and with the snake eyes and the not wavering, I was on the back foot and really should have lost both of my Silver Breeze units over there. Um, and he set up for the counter charge once I jump over with the flank on the Drakons from the right flank, but it just wasn't enough punch to take out the Drakons, and I was able to support them immediately the following turn, allowing me to get so much use out of the formation of Drakons, and then the horde of Drakons pulled its weight as well. So um, really, really good game. Even though in the end, Michael doesn't have anything left on the table, I think that this game easily goes a different way if my Drakon unit that ended up in the rear wasn't able to get there. I think that he has a very good chance of actually um, winning dominate at the very end. So really fun game though. Like I said, Michael's just an excellent guy. Had a lot of fun. He ended up getting my favorite game vote for the event. I just really think it was a good strategic game with just a couple of missing opportunities. Uh, and it really gave me a sweat, I'll say, for the first two or three turns, especially. So in the end, though, points wise, we got another max pointed victory. So we're going, 2 wins, no losses into the final game with max points. And it turns out there's one other person with max points and one other person I know of that's behind us by 1 point going into that game. So you'll have to stick around and watch game three to find out who those people are, but it's gonna be a fun game. So appreciate you all for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.